Hey Denver, Bree here. At the end of today's episode, I've got a sponsored interview with the Regional Air Quality Council. Kelsey Simpkins, their communications and programs manager, is going to tell me about the simple steps we can all take this summer to protect our health on high ozone days. And we're also going to talk about a great deal on electric lawn equipment, all brought to you by the Regional Air Quality Council. Welcome to CityCast Denver. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. So today we're talking about sanctioned versus unsanctioned public art, the perception of downtown versus the reality of the experience, plus our picks for the can't-miss concert of the summer. Producer Olivia Jewelove, hi.
Good morning.
And we have our friend and regular, the host of the Square State Colorado podcast and a coffee shop obsessive, Michelle Jackson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Our first topic is what is or isn't considered legitimate public art. So I want to talk about this fun story in Denver, right, from Paolo Zialcita about this amazing rogue piece of public art that was recently covered up with what the artist hilariously called the Landlord special. Like when your landlord comes in and paints every surface, outlet, and random bug on the wall the same thick, ugly coat of white or gray paint. But before that happened to this piece, it was just a rogue art piece put up by this artist, Tom Dorsa, along the Cherry Creek Trail, which is 11 miles from the confluence to Cherry Creek Reservoir, and it has 48 pieces of sanctioned public art, along with some of this guy's pieces, Tom Dorsa, and his piece was called 27 Packets of Taco Bell Diablo Sauce. And this is not one of the Denver Arts and Venues sanctioned pieces that is along their public art tour. And I loved this. I don't know. Did you guys look? We'll share a link in the show notes, but it is literally a piece of concrete sticking out of the creek bed that this man has fastened 27 packets of Taco Bell Diablo Sauce to, and then it just reads 27 packets of Diablo Sauce. What did you two think about this piece?
I love it. This is the kind of thing I'm taking pictures up on my phone. This is the kind of thing is the reason I have 20,000 photos on my phone is because I see stuff like this and just like take a picture and like, I'm like, I need this. I need to look at this later. And I love it. I also like the idea that he said he came back every once in a while to replenish. And in my head, I'm like, I like the idea that somebody on the Cherry Creek Trail is like eating their Taco Bell and they're like, wish I had a little Diablo sauce right now. And they're like, oh my God, look, 27 packets of Diablo sauce. How lucky am I? And then they just take one off and then the artist comes back and replenishes it. And that's kind of the narrative I have going in my head for this piece.
That's great art to me is you create your own narrative about what's happening. It's interactive.
I love interactive. Also, yeah, the art drops. I'm like, this is an art drop for Taco Bell sauce. You know,
it totally is.
It's dropped on the Cherry Creek Trail. If you need some sauce, there it is.
And what I love that you brought up is like a lot of art now in these public spaces is really thought of through the eye of an Instagram or, you know, like it's made to be photographed. And I love that for you, this piece was made to be photographed, but this is clearly not this gentleman's intent.
Certainly, this would be on my Instagram for sure if I had come across this in the wild. I love it.
So when I think about art, I think about the fact that it creates conversation. I also think about the fact that in Denver, because it's so expensive, artists are having to explore creativity in different ways. Like, I don't know that it's affordable to get like all the different components together to put a piece together. You know what I mean? Like, I just think about all the other parts that impact being an artist in general. But I also thought about those weird pink faces, those ceramic faces.
The little baby doll faces.
The little baby doll faces that have been around Denver for years now, for years. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
Who has been putting them heads on things. But I have always taken pictures of that art that's just randomly on, I remember the last time I saw one of those heads, it was on the bridge that's like you're going down, you're by Cherry Creek, and there's like a little like the little stream or whatever by the mall, and they would always put the little head
Oh
there, and I
yeah.
would take pictures, and there was like a little rainbow that they painted on there, and then of course the people over there painted over it. But I think that maybe Denver is healing when we're getting this rogue art just randomly placed around town. There's also the person who creates those wooden pieces of art, that
Yeah.
installation work. I always take pictures of that as well. I don't know who that is. I love it.
They'll sort of fasten them to an abandoned building that has been
Hmm.
boarded up, and then they'll just be a sort of mosaic of pieces of
Oh,
wood.
the like cross hatching stuff.
I love
Kind
it.
of, yeah. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's layered on top of each
I've
other.
seen that.
I thought what I thought about this one, to use the parlance of the graffiti community, this artist piece was able to ride for more than 2 years before it got buffed over. 2 years is a
Whoa.
long time for a piece to ride like this that is unsanctioned, because
Yeah.
he says in the story, the artist says in the story to Paolo that he had other pieces, but they usually get covered up within a couple of days. And this to me gets to the root of the complicated conversation around public art, especially when we incorporate things that are considered graffiti.
Hmm.
And I see both sides of this. I love, like you were saying, Michelle, the fabrication aspect of public art is really expensive to do it, quote, legally, quote, safely. When you see large installations that are, that are sanctioned by the city, a lot of that money goes straight to the fabrication. The artist isn't even necessarily making the money. They're not
Mhm.
making a living wage off of it. However, they are getting paid. And so I think that's the cool part of the public art program, right? Is folks are getting paid
Yeah.
to make art, which I love. But on the other side of it, like I've talked about this before, like my brother's a low-key graffiti artist, and he doesn't ever do anything. He's never applied for a grant. He's never put in an RFP for a piece. He just does it because he wants to. And then he has a job where he gets paid to do other things.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of artists who've made the grant model the way that they can get paid while working on other bigger projects. So I don't know. I see many angles of this that I appreciate.
I feel like this is kind of that conversation of like, are you somebody that like wants to turn your hobby into your livelihood,
Sure.
or do you want to
Mm.
keep the separation? And like,
Yeah.
it's such it varies so much from person to person, and I understand both sides so much.
100%.
But like, I really enjoy these kind of off the wall, just like random little things, because also like, to me as just somebody observing, it feels more like accessible to me, because I'm like, there's no way I could paint a giant mural. Like I don't have the resources. I'm not that talented. Like I don't have the vision for that. But like something funny like 27 Taco Bell Diablo sauce packets, that's hilarious. And I'm like, you know what? I could create that. I could be an artist too. And it's just like, I just love that sort of just like weirdness. I mean, everybody knows
The
like
weirdness,
I'm just
yes.
a weirdo, and I love just like seeing that in the city. And I also like his conversation of like that one being left up for so long versus like other ones being taken down. I'm like, I feel like it's because this one has the unifying spirit of like, who's going to disagree with 27 Taco Bell Diablo packets? But like
Guys,
one of his
I'm
other
not
ones,
a Taco Bell person.
one of his, oh, wow. Okay.
No, like there's
Terrible.
real Mexican places to go to. Why would I go to Taco
You're
Bell?
going
It's a separate category, though.
Taco Bell
Yeah.
I
is
know.
Taco
I
Bell.
am just snotty.
Anyway,
I'm just
back to my
snotty.
point. His other, he had one of his other pieces that said like, this was the greatest movie ever created, and he like stuck
was
a
Cars.
CD of the Cars movie on there,
Mhm.
and I'm like, that's divisive, Not
Mhm.
everyone thinks that. I don't agree. I don't agree that Cars was the greatest movie ever created. Maybe I would Landlord special that. I don't know if I had that kind of power. Maybe I would. But like,
Yeah.
something as unifying as the 27 Taco Bell Diablo packets, like that one really brings people together and is not gonna like create rifts in the community. So I do.
I'm a riff.
You're upset
But
by
you
that?
know what?
Are you
I
glad it's
don't-
painted over? Do you feel
I
better?
don't want it to be painted over, but like there's other packets
just
I'm
not-
excited about. It's
Which
the-
It's
ones?
not resonating with
But
you,
you know
Michelle.
what I keep thinking about when you talk about the Landlord like special or whatever is that landlord who painted over the cockroach with the
Yes.
leg and all the memes that like came out of that. Sorry, guys.
Dude, it's literally
But
so
I mean,
tr-
this is
it's
also a
true.
regular occurrence
it's
for
literally
graffiti
true.
artists. Is this happens to their work all the time?
Also, my old apartment had like hairs, like somebody's hair in the
Oh,
wall.
yeah.
Like there were bugs. Like there straight up were. They did paint over them. My balcony, I was just out there working on it. I had to pull out this nail that probably had like half an inch thick of Landlord special paint on it. And it took me, I was like, I can't just pull this nail out of this wood because there is so much paint literally cementing it onto this deck. So it's real.
I do want to say, so the artist Tom Dorsa, again, told Denverite he's a professional appliance repairman who describes himself as an absurdist and surrealist. And he says there's no deeper meaning of the art piece. He was just inspired by a trip to Taco Bell. He said, quote, I only ordered 2 items and I had a bag full of sauce packets that I was not going to use that I didn't need or want. Highly relatable if you do go to Taco Bell. If you say yes when they ask you if you want any hot sauce, sometimes they give you
Not
2
anymore,
packets, and
though.
sometimes they give you 40 packets.
This is the mark of changing times, I will say, because my
Okay.
boyfriend and I really like our Taco Bell. Okay, late night Taco Bell after some drinking. Okay, if you get it, you get it. But like his number one gripe, he's like, Taco Bell used to just throw a handful of sauces in. He's like, now they are so conservative with the sauces. They will just. He's like 2 per item. He's like, I mean,
a lot of places charge you.
Yeah, he's like, I
for
literally
sauce.
have to ask them for extra. He's like, they used to just throw so many in. So it's like, this is the mark of a changing tide. Like we used to be a society. We used to be a society where you could get 27 Taco Bell Diablo sauces. And now I want to see a follow-up piece where it's like 2 Taco Bell Diablo sauces and like one of them's empty because he used it. I'm just thinking of follow-ups for this art piece.
Actually, I have a follow-up, and this I'm
Okay.
excited about. I just heard that McDonald's is deep frying apple pies again for a limited time only for
We were just talking about this morning.
250th anniversary. And I do not ever eat fast food, but when I tell you that I'm a fried apple pie girly, I'm there. I have not been to a McDonald's in 12 years easily. I will be there on June 23rd. This is not an endorsement of McDonald's. I will be there on June 23rd because I cannot lie on McDonald's. They do 3 things I love: fries, coffee, strangely enough, and deep fried apple pie. So if he made a piece with apple pie boxes, I'm that girl. Okay? Like I am so sad. I'm
You
gonna
could
go
do a
there probably
piece.
daily for that.
Make
okay?
make an upside down American flag out of the like pie boxes and be like
I feel
America
that.
in distress, and it's like the pie
Olivia,
boxes for
I see
$2.50.
the vision.
I'm coming up with so many ideas right now.
Olivia,
Feel
make
free
a
to take
note
them.
to follow up with Michelle because I'm going to be out of town about if she tried it, because I
I
do
am
want to
so
know
going.
more about what you think.
Just FaceTime
I
me.
cannot wait.
Well, we'd love to know what you think about this type of, quote, public art. How does it fit into the sphere of how you view art in the city, public or otherwise? Give us a call on the Public Art Hotline, 720-500-5418, and leave us a voicemail, which we love, or you can send us a text. I have so many more thoughts, you guys, about graffiti, but we don't have time, so let's move on. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are talking about downtown perception versus reality. This episode is brought to you by the Central City Opera. The 94th Central City Opera Festival opens June 27th. Since 1932, Central City Opera has been one of Colorado's favorite arts traditions, bringing world-class talent to an 1878 opera house just 1 hour west of Denver. This summer, Central City Opera is celebrating Colorado's 150th anniversary and 250 years of American independence with an anniversary all their own, the 70th anniversary of their world premiere of The Ballad of Baby Doe. The show tells the scandalous historical love story of Silver Baron Horace Tabor, who has left his wife Augusta for Baby Doe, which rocked Denver society and remains a staple of Colorado history. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Baby Doe. I want to see this show so bad. I know it's a scandalous story because Augusta Tabor doesn't get the credit she deserved for being a very cool lady. But there's something intriguing about Baby Doe. If you've ever seen pictures of her, she's gorgeous. And there's a reason there was a mining-themed restaurant named after her in Denver, because we love Baby Doe. Other shows this summer include The Marriage of Figaro, Masterclass, CCO in Concert, and so much more. Tickets start at $32 and seats are going fast, so don't miss out. The festival runs June 27th through August 2nd. Visit centralcityopera.org to learn more. Okay. So if you were listening earlier this week, I actually talked to Patty Calhoun about the state of downtown because she took Jeff and Bill from the Jeff and Bill Show, a conservative radio talk show duo downtown, to sort of show her version of how she sees downtown. And we talked in that conversation, we talked a lot about the data of who's coming back and vacancies and what's happening with old buildings. But Michelle, I think you pitched something to us that's a little bit different, which is like, why are there these lingering ideas about downtown? Why is this narrative persisting that maybe it's not a great place to be? What was your thought with this?
So I want to start with the fact that I grew up in Denver and Boulder. So I have been going to downtown since I was a wee lass, a small child. Okay. And one of the things that I do want to say is that if anyone went downtown during the COVID times, it felt like the zombie apocalypse. Like it was a really horrific experience. It is just a fact.
Like in what way?
Just
like
desolate.
No one there? Okay.
It was desolate. It was scary. It just, there was a lot going on that I don't even want to, it was bad.
But like it was empty or what? I wasn't here during COVID, so I'm trying to picture it.
So it felt like it was desolate because everyone was work from home. Like
Right.
we had, it wasn't so much that there was crime. It was the feeling of crime because no one was down there. Right. Like it didn't feel safe. It felt like crazy stuff was happening. It just was bad. It just was really bad.
Okay.
But in saying this, I will also say for me, it was the worst downturn that downtown has had since I've lived here, which is at this point a long time. And so I want to point out a couple things, which is downtown Denver, like any downtown, has downturns. Okay.
Sure.
However, it is becoming increasingly clear to me that when people are making comments about downtown and how it feels and blah, 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 that they haven't been there. I can just tell immediately by what they're saying. And I've started asking people, when was the last time you were there? The reason why I'm saying that is I'm downtown probably 3 to 4 times a week for like extended periods of time. I'm not just like on a bus going through or driving through or riding my bike through. Like I am deliberately on purpose spending time downtown. And I'm speaking to people who are attending for conferences. I'm seeing local people who are just like taking a chance on visiting because maybe they weren't sure what to do downtown. And for me, it's a very vibrant space. It's very interesting. There's a lot of energy. Larimer Square in particular feels like it's almost at probably like 85 to 90% occupancy, which it was not even close to that. During COVID, they did a lot of construction and work on Larimer Square in particular. They actually reopened the spot where Bubba or Boo Boo used to be down there. Like that whole area is done. So I feel like in the conversation that we're having about downtown, I'm like, have you been down there when there's a concert at Empower Field, there are people at Coors Field, there are people at Ball Arena, all this stuff is happening. There are people going to DCPA, Denver Center for Performing Arts, for shows, plural. There's people walking up and down the mall. And when people are talking about their experience, especially people from out of state, 9 times out of 10, it's increasingly very positive. I will not touch on the food aspect, but I will say briefly, a lot of people are also talking about having good food experiences because that's a whole different episode. And part of this is just me being on Threads all the time, seeing the reactions, me talking to people in person. I still have a really fun side hustle that gets me around tourists and stuff, and they are enjoying Denver. And I'm getting really frustrated with this conversation because I think it's impeding our ability to bring people back in.
One thing I noticed about the tourist conversation is that, like, I think it was last summer, producer Paul and I did a like man on the street on 16th Street, like after it was finished being renovated. So many of the people we talked to were tourists visiting, even from like Europe and other
Yeah.
places, which I was kind of like, why are you on the 16th Street Mall?
I have to say, when people say I'm coming to Denver, where should I go? I never say 16th Street Mall. And it's just because I don't know what's there to draw someone. DCPA, sure. If we got a great show going on, or, some big show is in town, or something local is happening that's really great, or there's a festival downtown or something, maybe. But I think to me, part of it is like it's still trying to find its footing again.
Mm.
And it's kind of a hard sell. Like we went to the pavilions a couple months ago and it was awesome. Like, we could see the potential. My husband was like, oh my God, I can see the more things that are put in here, the later nights that there are, like the more opportunities to do things after a show or before a show. I was talking to Patty about this.
Yeah.
The more apt I would be to come downtown. And so I think part of it is the perception problem is like us locals don't necessarily have a grasp on what it is offering,
So here's what I will say. I used to also live in Europe and I've traveled quite a bit. And I think part of there's like a couple of different conversations that are impacting downtown Denver. The first one is we're like Denver people are never going to let go of work from home or hybrid. You will have to
I'm
pry
with
that
you.
out of our cold dead hands. I said that on
I
Threads
don't think
today.
that's the answer either. I'm with you.
Never going to go away. So what that means is we cannot have this we cannot approach the development and use of downtown in the way that we used to, because these people are not going to come back. That the draw of living in Denver is the ability to be outdoors, to do things. We work to live, we don't live to work. So we have to really reimagine that the downtown corridor and what business looks like. And honestly, cities across the world have gotten it right. Okay. In terms of a draw, like what's a draw downtown, I think that we're not as curious and excited about Denver as we need to be. And I will say this as any person
That's
who's
fair.
lived in a place for a long time. Like, part of why I run Square State Colorado is because the city is changing so fast. There's just so much for me to like. It's so interesting to me. It's so wild. There's all these things I've never heard of. So I'm endlessly curious and fascinated by what there is to offer downtown. I love going to Dikyo Collection, which a lot of people have never heard of it. It's a permanent art collection.
A permanent private art collection that it's not,
free.
to be fair, it's not super accessible though necessarily. If you don't know about it, you literally like have to dig for it.
I tell people, so understudy, which is accessible. It's free. It's this random little thing right by the light rail stop.
And it's also a gallery as well that features local and up and coming artists from across the country. Every month they have a new exhibition.
McGregor Square has, and this is not, we're not in partnership, by the way, but McGregor Square, I want to be clear, pay me. McGregor Square has like all these viewing parties. Skyline Park has viewing for soccer, for FIFA. Skyline Park has all these viewing parties. Like, there's a lot happening. I think that though, like, we're adults, we're grown-ups, we have life happening. We're working, we have stuff going on. It takes time to research the stuff that's happening in cities as they are changing. But with the amount of growth and stuff happening in Denver, I think it's hard to keep up with as a long-term resident. That's part of the reason why I have this excuse to kind of check things out. I don't know that if I didn't have the website that I would be checking as many things out as
like your website in terms of like things you make yourself go to. Sure.
Candidly.
Sure.
But I love it because I'm like, wow, like I'm waiting for the Poetic Kinetics, I think it is, installation that I think might be at Union Station, because I see something being installed there, which is that really cool art piece similar to what was down by Colorado Springs last year.
Sure.
I've been waiting for that to be installed. So I just feel like there's a lot happening. I think that people are having a good experience. I think sometimes we just have to have maybe an anchor experience and then do other things around that when we're downtown,
Yeah.
you know?
Can I share one more anecdote about this
Yes,
conversation?
before we go. Yes.
I just like the Jeff and Bill of it all. I'm thinking about, like people who aren't normally downtown going downtown. And I was thinking about this because my partner, he doesn't live in Denver. He lives up in the hills, and he got summoned to federal jury duty and had to come down to the Denver courthouse at 8 a.m. on a Monday, much to his pleasure and happiness. But it's so funny, because we're downtown a lot for this job and like doing stuff. And I think that a lot of things have cleaned up and like there's a lot less visible like unsheltered homelessness and stuff since I've started going downtown, since I've lived here. But it's so funny because like, I rarely have a negative interaction when I'm going downtown, but like the one time he goes down there, he gets in his car out of the parking garage and somebody starts screaming at him and banging on his window and jumping in front of his car. And I was like, and he's not one of those guys that's like anti-downtown, but he was like, wow.
But that's his reality now.
He was
his
like, wow, that's
downtown.
crazy. And I was like, that's so insane because the amount of times I've gone downtown and I've never had it happen ever. And it's like the one time he does. And I was like, dang it. Like that wasn't supposed to happen. So I don't know.
Now
it's just
we're a city
Yeah.
and not a town anymore. And I think that's the other part of the conversation with on-time Denverites. That's hard for them to experience.
Totally. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to share our top concert picks for this summer. Okay, we're back. We each have brought a concert that we think you should make the time to see this summer. And we're just going to give our recs right now. Olivia, do you want to give us your must-see concert?
Yes, I am so excited about this one because this is someone I've never seen before and am really excited to see. So Yuja Wang, the concert pianist, is coming to Boulder in July on July 16th. She's going to be at the Chautauqua Auditorium.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
But she is going to be performing with them West Side Story. And I just have become obsessed with Yuja Wang because if you look her, you need to look her up. This is the most diva person you will ever see in your life. She has the fiercest bob. She is so cute. And she wears glittery sequin dresses and the biggest high heels, often red bottoms, to these when she's like headlining these concerts. And she has the fiercest bow. She has like a signature bow that she does before these performances. And I just love a hot girl that's doing something unexpected. Like, yeah, she's hot as hell. And she's also like a classical pianist and she's amazing. And so I would love to see her in concert because she is, I love watching videos of her. I'm literally obsessed with her. There are fan edits of her on TikTok. She is amazing and so cool. And I am obsessed with her look.
Oh, I can't wait to see her.
She is, you have to look her up.
Okay.
She is so cool. Literally my idol.
Okay.
And so I like literally want to go have a fan experience with her, but also I want to hear her because she's like one of the world's best classical piano players.
Okay.
So
I love it.
Yeah, she's an icon. Please go look her up. Amazing. I'm so excited for this.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll go next because I have one that's sort of similar in aesthetic, why I love it. But so first of all, really quick, tonight, I just found this out. If you are an Amyl and the Sniffers fan, they're playing at Red Rocks, which I somehow missed this. I didn't know. I've seen them twice. They're absolutely amazing. They're like this 70s throwback. Their lead singer, Amy's like, her costumes are like, they're not costumes as much as I don't know how to explain it. She's a great performer. She's like a cartoonish person, but her message is very serious. And like, she just brings fun and to this, like to serious topics around global issues around the world. But their music is really just also about partying and having a good time. And also, my patron saints of the 90s, L7, are opening, which I had no idea. I'm heartbroken I can't go, but please, if you're looking for something to do tonight, go see L7 with Amel and the Sniffers. But if you're looking to plan a little bit ahead, I want to give a shout out to Sierra Farrell at Red Rocks on August 12th. She's like this throwback bluegrass player with this like Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn, Appalachian feminism vibes.
Ooh,
And she wears these costumes. They're like the Coddington Fairies meets Flapper, meets Annie Oakley, meets David Bowie. And she often has like her face and her teeth decorated.
Ooh.
She's so cool to look at. And then she has this like throwback / timeless bluegrass vibe, which normally I'm not into, but I think that just her approach to it and her presentation is just so incredible. And I do want to give a shout out to Ashley, aka Colfax Things, on Instagram. She has been shouting from the rooftops about Sierra for the last couple of years, and she really turned me on to her music. But visually incredible. Couldn't think of a better venue for this type of performer. Red Rocks. This is August 12th. And also, another lovely bonus is she's partnered with Plus One so that $1 from every ticket sold goes to support the National Immigrant Law Center and their work advancing and defending rights and opportunities of low-income immigrants and their loved ones. So
Sick.
I love when I see performers being able to loop something like that in with their performance. But so my recommendation, Sierra Farrell. Michelle, take us out. Who's your rec?
I have one brief one and then the other one. So, Sir will be performing at Juneteenth.
Oh, we had Juneteenth.
I am stoked. Okay. I love him so much. And it's free. So definitely go to Eventbrite. Do get your free Eventbrite ticket for that. That is on Saturday. And I am so thrilled. The other performance I'm super excited about, I already have my tickets, is the Flowbots at Levitt Pavilion for July 4th. The thing about the Flowbots is that I want them to perform the song that they performed at the 16th Street opening, which was Ice, which I don't know that you can get it anywhere, but it is one of the most profound songs I've ever heard in my life. They are amazing. Every time they're like Devachka for me too. Like there's certain local bands that just are insane, and so I am super excited to see that. It's free. I'm almost 100%. I know it's free. It's a free performance.
It's
so
at
definitely check
Levitt.
that out. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. Also, shout out Stephen Brackett, co-founder of the Flowbots, just won the Bonfils Stanton Social Impact Artist Award, which is a pretty big deal.
Sweet.
So if you haven't seen Flowbots, I don't know how you haven't if you've lived here in Colorado any amount of time, but they're a local treasure and we love them. Well, Olivia, Michelle, thank you so much. This was really fun.
This was great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Bree here with Kelsey Simpkins, Communications and Programs Manager at the Regional Air Quality Council. Kelsey, welcome to CityCast Denver.
Thanks for having me, Bree.
So for people who might be hearing about ground level ozone for like the first time, what exactly is it and why is it such a stubborn problem here on the Front Range specifically?
The simplest answer to that is ground level ozone is a form of air pollution. It is tricky because it is invisible and odorless. So, in contrast to wildfire smoke, you can't necessarily see it or smell it to know if it's a bad air day. It does contribute to, things like smog or some of that haze that we'll see sometimes around the Front Range, but it's not actually visible and you can't smell it. So it is kind of sneaky, but it is our most pressing air pollution problem here in the summer months. We have a large population that lives here in the Front Range, of course, and we have the perfect weather conditions. So we have a lot of days in the summer where it's really hot, sunny, and what I call perfect pool weather, where it's like 80, 90 degrees. All you want to do is cool off outside. And that's the perfect conditions for these emissions to combine in the air and sort of bake basically in the sunlight and the heat of our amazing summer days. And then the wind and the weather trap it here. So often the worst ground level ozone levels are found along the foothills. So in Chatfield, Golden, Boulder, and all the way up to Fort Collins.
So the American Lung Association apparently compares exposure to this ground level ozone to a sunburn inside your lungs, which is a pretty alarming image. What are the health concerns for people on a high ozone day and who should be concerned the most?
Yeah, it's a super tangible way to think about what it's doing to your body. So based on people's health, like you noted, folks who have asthma or other respiratory conditions are at the most risk of impacts from ozone. And the other groups that are impacted are children, as they're usually outside a lot in the summer, running around, breathing heavily. Their lungs are also still developing. And kids can also have more asthma.
So, I understand it affects all of us, but I can see where it could be specifically for certain folks really a problem. How do we know? Like, how are people supposed to know when it's a high ozone day?
So there are some telltale signs, but we will also tell you. So there's a lot of groups here in Colorado, including us here at the Regional Air Quality Council and Simple Steps Better Air, who send out alerts on things that are called ozone action days. And so these are forecasts that the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment does. And they push those out also to a lot of weather apps. And it's kind of your choice how you want to get that information, in the most timely, useful way to you, whether it is through your weather app, whether you want to go directly check something called the Air Quality Index, which is that color-coded system some people really like to use, or if you want to sign up for alerts directly from the state, or you can sign up for alerts from us.
Okay, so your program is called Simple Steps Better Air. What are the most impactful things someone in Denver can actually do this summer, both to protect their own health and to help reduce emissions overall?
So if you are more sensitive to air pollution and ozone, we do recommend the best option is to stay indoors on those peak hours. Ozone builds up over the course of the day, and so it's highest in the afternoons when it's also really hot out. So you can kind of avoid both of those things at the same time, stay inside, turn the AC on. If you want to be outdoors, of course, in the summer, a lot of us love to do that. We do recommend people strategize a little bit and get out for that run or that bike ride in the morning when ozone levels are going to be typically lower, again, because it builds up over the course of the day.
So before we wrap up, you've kind of mentioned this, but I would love to know more about how folks listening right now can sign up for these ozone alerts that you all do. And also, tell me about this awesome electric lawn equipment discount that I keep hearing about, but is expiring at the end of this year.
You can sign up for free summer ozone alerts, text or email from Simple Steps Better Air and the Regional Air Quality Council at our website, and that is simplestepsbetterair.org. Or if you just want to text sign up right now, that is a text to 21,000. That's 21 and 3 zeros, and the keyword there is Better Air CO. For that lawn and garden discount that you mentioned, Bree, I have some good news on that. That has likely just been extended. So at the start of the summer, it was going to only run through the end of 2026, but recently a bill was signed to extend that for a couple more years. But we still encourage people to not delay, because the sooner you start going electric with your lawn equipment, the sooner you benefit. So that is a 30% discount at point of sale statewide at participating retailers. So we do recommend you go online or call in advance to confirm you're going to get that amazing discount. And there's no rebate, nothing you have to mail in or anything. It's just a straight up discount at the counter.
We've switched to like native plants and wild grasses, but we still needed a weed whacker, and the electric one is awesome. So good to know. Folks can do that right now if they'd like. Kelsey, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to talk to me.
Thanks for having me, Bree.
To learn more and sign up for free summer ozone alerts, head to simplestepsbetterair.org or text Better Air CO to 21000. And hey, don't forget, go get that 30% off electric lawn equipment at participating retailers statewide. Thanks for listening. That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed the show, why not take a minute to tell artist Tom Dorsa about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe to our morning newsletter at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.